basketball at Oracle Arena, the home of the Warriors in Oakland, California. Live on 2K Sports. And as we start the weekend here on this Friday night, 2K Sports welcoming you to NBA basketball. With Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter, Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. The Warriors with their last game here in Golden State before heading out on the road. They've come out very strong. Their early season play has been excellent.
I guarantee you what, guys, the adrenaline is already flowing on both sides. A rivalry matchup like this means a little more to the players than just any other game.
And not just the players, Greg. How about the fans, too? I mean, they get into this thing as well. We've got an electric atmosphere in here, just like it always is when these two teams square off. It should be a good one, and I'm glad to be right in the middle of it.
Now the starting group for the Denver Nuggets. Fareed and Nurkic in the middle. Mudiay out there with Will Barton. And it's Chandler in at the 3 spot. Now perhaps one of the most intriguing draft picks of this past summer, Emmanuel Mudiay, can be a game-changing player. Was going to play, Clark, as you recall, at SMU for Larry Brown.
He sure was, and went overseas instead. So we don't know a ton about him other than his reputation is sterling. Now we'll see if he can live up to it.
Now Mudiay, after the missed 3 from Stephen Curry. Shot off the pick. Mudiay, no good. Golden State's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. And Thompson kicks to Green. Curry against Chandler. Outside, Green. 6 on the shot clock. Off the mark there with the 3-point shot.
And how about Mudiay, guys? He has a very interesting upbringing. Born in the Congo, grew up in Texas, then spent last season in China. Already a very well-traveled young man or player of his age. Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
Now here's Curry. Picked up 27 points in their last win against the Clippers.
But what stood out for me was his gorgeous playmaking out there. I mean, over and over, he was finding his teammates in a great position to score.
And you know, with Mudiay, you can't ignore what he does on the court. He has amazing size at the point guard spot, excellent vision, and is a natural playmaker for his squad.
Here's Barton. Last game he had 12. Screen by Nurkic. Offline with his 3. Barnes against Nurkic. And the wide open shot from Green. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. 6 points for Draymond Green.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Fareed outside. No luck. The Warriors go the other way with it. They come into this having outplayed the Clippers last game.
And we've talked about how in the NBA you've got to earn your points the hard way, and that really wasn't the case in that game for them.
No, there was no hard way about it. I mean, they got their points easily on dunks and layups against a defense that really didn't offer much of a fight.
Now Curry. Wilson Chandler missing from long range. There's the pass to Barnes. Here's Bogut. It's good from about 19 feet.
You know, basketball can be a thing of beauty, and the Warriors showed just how gorgeous ball movement can be last year. Every possession looked like a well-orchestrated concert. It was incredibly fun to watch. Not so much fun, probably, to coach against.
Warriors leading by 4. Here's Curry. Mudiay with the rebound.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
They grab their own miss. Chandler. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And Golden State gets called for the foul. The Nuggets shooting their second and third free throws tonight. And he can't get the first one.
You know, when I think of Wilson Chandler, what comes to mind is supreme athleticism. He can throw it down with the best of them. Yet he's still working on the other areas of his game to be more well-rounded.
And the Warriors with a completely new 5 on the floor. Big group substitution here for Denver. Joey Dorsey's checked in for Yusuf Nurkic. Molinari comes in for Kenneth Fareed. Randy Foy, he's checked in for Will Barton. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Moutier. And it's Gallinari missing. You know, back to Wilson Chandler, he's somewhat of a wild card. One of the few guys to go overseas. Remember, Greg, during that NBA lockout in 2011, he signed to play for China and didn't negotiate an out clause when he signed.
Yeah, and truth is, Chandler's one of those guys who can give you some solid minutes, but you hope at some point that he gets serious and commits to reaching his full potential.
Here's Nelson. The Warriors making the shot. Nice concentration to hit the double clutch layup. Nelson's got his first basket of the night. Looking at Denver, they got their last win against Utah.
And they were really locked in from beyond the arc in that game. I mean, the results wouldn't have looked anything like it did had it not been for their ability from beyond.
Exactly. They were spraying home threes at a huge rate.
That's good. Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync, tremendous communication and awareness.
Now, here is Gallinari. He had 13 points in the win against Utah.
And I thought the contribution he made by just generating contact, getting to the line was outstanding, guys. I mean, he picked up a lot of points at the stripe.
Down low, a jump hook, and Spates with the basket on the assist by Livingston.
Well, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passes.
The Nuggets have gone 0 for 3 in the game at the line, missing all previous chances. Free throw drops for Nelson. Laverne, he's checked in for Wilson Chandler. He doesn't get the second one.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
No, it always is, and it has been so far, and they've gotten a nice edge on the glass.
Spates with a screen on Gallinari. Out to the wing. Iguodala wide open, and he can't extend the lead to double digits. First quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And from what we've seen so far from the Warriors, how would you grade them?
Just the way they've been able to pound that backboard. I think that's been the difference.
Establishment of a good low post presence, a big part of the success.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. So on the floor for Denver, filling out the wings, it's Foy and Gallinari. Laverne is out there with Kenneth Faried, and it's Nelson in at the point.
Another pass put right into the shooter's pocket, right in the shooting pocket for a terrific assist. They've done a lot of that today.
And it's something we haven't seen much of at the opposite end of the floor.
And it's Gallinari missing.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
Iguodala kicks to Green. Golden State moving it around. Curry outside. Laverne grabs the miss. The Nuggets trail by 10. Denver with a tough year last season. A lot of losses for them on the road as they would go, Clark, only 11-30 away from the Mile High City.
Yeah, and Kevin, they ended the season on a 5-game road losing streak as well. I mean, they had mostly given up at that point as they had tried to develop young players, and it just kind of blew up on them down the stretch.
And so it's Golden State with it. Denver getting their last shot to go.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
Nuggets shooting 43% from the field. Timeout is called. First of the game for the Nuggets.
A big problem for the Nuggets last year is that they just couldn't hit shots away from home. I mean, they finished in the bottom 5 in terms of field goal percentage on the road.
Andrew Bogut, he's checked in for Golden State. Barnes comes in for Andre Iguodala. The Nuggets also changing it up. Barton's checked in for Foy. And it's Moutier in for Nelson. Now here's Curry. From outside the arc, Gallinari with the rebound.
Hey, I've got one more note on the Nuggets and the road. I mean, when you shoot as poorly as they did, as you mentioned, you start to lose some confidence and second-guess things. It's a lot harder to fight through shooting slumps like that in somebody else's building.
And Draymond Green picks up the foul. That's his first foul. A different look for Denver. Nurkic checked in for Laverne. And Wilson Chandler subbed in for Gallinari. Fareed a screen on Barnes. Here's Barton, and he jams it with authority.
Good job. Nice job by Fareed to lay into that defender. Put some wood on him with that screen.
It's Curry with the drive. That's good.
Yeah, the drive to the bucket was great, but the finger roll was even better.
The Nuggets trail by 11. Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Screen by Fareed. Martin dishes to Nurkic. Nice D from Bogut. Golden State's gone 2 of 4 from three-point range so far in the second quarter. And the call will be against Emmanuel Mudiay. That's his first foul.
Yeah, clearly he had an established position there.
Yeah, and I like this call because you want the refs in that situation. If there's any doubt, err on the side of giving the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player. That should have been a block, and it was.
Yeah, another turnover there. But, guys, overall, they've taken really good care of the basketball.
And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2. Warriors leading by 9. The Nuggets missed the postseason again last year. Never really had a good look at it. Just fell in back of the pack.
And it's the second straight year of not playing playoff basketball in Denver. This coming on the heels of 10 straight bursts between 04 and 13.
So out there for the Nuggets right now, Fareed and Nurkic in the middle. Mudiay out there with Will Barton, and it's Chandler in at the small forward. No good from Bogut.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on it.
Some changes for Golden State. Festus Ezeli comes in for Andrew Bogut. And it's Barbosa in for Thompson.
And, you know, for Denver, historically, they've enjoyed a lot of success for a long time. I mean, missing the playoffs consecutively might have been the wake-up call they needed to try something different going forward.
Chandler, the pass to Dorsey. The dish to Mudiay. Offside Chandler. 6 on the shot clock. And another miss by Denver.
And listen, it's sometimes really hard for teams like the Nuggets to know when to rebuild. So while they weren't quite sure what they had coming into last season, by the end of it, they had a clear idea of what direction they needed to head into for the future.
And Green gets it to go. Green's got the lead up to 11 now for the Warriors.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists. You know, the Warriors took some flack when they passed on the chance to trade for Kevin Love, but I really think that the rise of Draymond Green as their stretch four-man made the decision even better and also kept their cap situation far more flexible.
Here's Ezeli, and out of bounds as the Nuggets gain possession.
Looking at the numbers for Draymond Green, a very nice season for him last year. Last season chipped in 11 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. And his rebounding is what's most impressive. He's shown tremendous determination on the backboard.
And it's a big asset for this team. I mean, he blocks out on the defensive glass, then he keeps balls alive at the offensive end.
And it's blocked. And out of bounds as the Nuggets gain possession. Jameer Nelson's checked in for Mudiay. Jameer Nelson. We've got 1:13 left to play here in the second quarter. And Draymond Green won't give you the superstar numbers of a Kevin Love, but he's got a deceptive impact, Clark, at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I call him a value-utility guy because he does a little bit of everything that brings value to your quest to win. His shooting has steadily gotten better, and while he's not an all-star yet, some of his total contributions on the floor are impressive.
And, folks, he does more than just put 2 points onto their lead. He does it with a little bit of flair.
He sure Sure does. You're right. It's a dazzling move to the bucket for him.
I'll tell you what, he may not be the biggest man in the league, guys, but he more than makes up for that lack of size with amazing aerial skills. You know, Kenneth Faried was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team 4 years ago. Took the league by storm with his energy and hustle. Looked like the sky was the limit for him, but every year since then, his numbers have looked very similar.
Catching up on the changes for Golden State, Spates comes in for Draymond Green, and it's Iguodala in for Barnes. Denver also making some changes. Alinari comes in for Wilson Chandler, and it's Foy in for Barton. The 3, Barbosa, and it's Barbosa again missing. Getting back to Faried, the numbers through last season tell a very interesting story. His field goal percentage has gone down every year, while his free throw percentage has gone up every year.
Yeah, his rebounds, assists, steals, block numbers have all stayed relatively flat. You know, he's making a positive contribution, but maybe not at the level of that contract extension he signed back in 2014.
The Warriors shooting their first free throws of the evening. Free throw drops for Barbosa. And Barbosa drops them both. There's 14 seconds left now here in the second. Alinari with it. He's coming off a 13-point game against Utah.
Yeah, but he set up shop at the free throw line. I mean, he just could not be defended out on the floor.
And we've reached.
Thank you, Kevin. Andre, what has been the underlying principle of how you and the...
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie. So it's Golden State who's out on top at the half. They lead by 10. And that'll do it for...
And the third quarter about ready to get underway. One of the stories here, Draymond Green getting it done today.
Always been a dynamic scorer, and we saw in that first half the entire repertoire on display.
Yeah, he's a hard man to keep down, and so far they haven't found the answer for him. I don't know if there is an answer for him, quite honestly.
The defensive stalwarts, Green and Bogut, are down low. It's the Splash Brothers, Curry and Thompson. They're in the backcourt. And it's Barnes at the small forward position. That's the Warriors' 5.
And, you know, looking at Andrew Bogut, he's been one of the game's best centers. I mean, obviously injuries have saddled him a little bit over the years, but he's made it through 67 games each of the past 2 seasons.
Now, here's Moutier. Here's Barton. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Barton's got 5.
And no matter who it is, that kind of D isn't going to get it done.
No one near Curry as he lets it go. And they come right back with their own three-pointer. Well, going back to Bogut, when he's healthy, he's a very difficult matchup for any opponent. One of the great rebounders and defenders certainly in this game now. He also, though, gives you points from the blocks and with timely putbacks.
And, you know, he's become an unsung hero in a sense. Not the flashy guy who entered the league, but more of a very talented lunch pail kind of guy who simply wants to do his part.
And the basket by Curry.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
The Nuggets trail by 14. Moutier kicks to Barton. No good. So Golden State will take it the other way. They come into this having outplayed the Clippers last game.
And in that game, guys, I mean, the beneficiary of what was some very lackluster defense being played against them.
Agreed, guys. It was really quite shocking and disappointing how many free runs to the hoop they got.
Now, here's Moutier. Here's Barton. Hands the 12-footer. Barton's got 7 points in the game.
The defender was spinning around like an agitator in the washing machine after that crossover.
I think you're right. Looks a little bit dizzy after that one.
Here's Curry. He's got 8. Pass to Bogut. He dishes it to Thompson. Outside Curry. Shot from 12. Again, Golden State.
Wow, risky shot there size-wise, but the incredible skill that he possesses allows that one to go.
Well, the quick high release negated any height disadvantage he had right there.
And guys, one thing that we were treated with last year was Steve Kerr's great quotability in post-game interviews and pressers. He said all the right things and deflected praise like a coach who had done it for many years.
And Kerr is so good with the media because, Greg, he was a media member himself for so long. You know that as well as anybody. Clark, I don't think he ever tried his hand at broadcasting, though. I can't see him doing that. Did you?
Yeah,
No.
Right. He probably just drone on as a broadcaster and would rarely contribute anything of note. Some guys have what it takes to call games, and Steve just doesn't quite scratch me as that kind of guy.
Gallinari, he's checked in for Denver. Right around 3 minutes into the second half. And Chandler, here we go. And the shot is good. Chandler's got his second basket. On offense, here are the Warriors. They're on a 13-4 run. Outside, Green fires for three. Rebounded by Fareed.
You know, 9 times out of 10, he's going to knock that one down. He'll spray that one on you.
That's good. And that's now 6 points for Wilson Chandler.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
Yeah, the defense is all about disrupting timing and spacing, and what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Spates checked in for Andrew Bogut. Laverne, he's checked in for Denver. Nelson comes in for Moutier. Curry dishes to Green. Back to Curry. The drive by Green. Thompson outside. 5 to shoot. Fires the three. And it's Denver with the rebound. They put up a nice win against Utah last time out.
And they were really locked in from beyond the arc in that game. I mean, the results wouldn't have looked anything like it did had it not been for their ability from beyond.
Exactly. They were spraying home threes at a huge rate.
A nice bounce back here for Harrison Barnes, Clark, in year 3. Moved into the starting lineup last year and really responded.
Yeah, he did. I think he benefited from the new system. He was miscast as an isolation scorer, but when he can spot up for threes and catch the ball on the move, that's his game.
Now Nelson. Fareed setting the pick for Nelson. Kicks it to Fareed. Barnes against Gallinari. Shot clock at 5. Tries again. The shot's good from Fareed.
And that putback about as easy a bucket as you're going to get.
Exactly what happens when you don't box out, Greg.
And Curry, here we go. Pass to Green. From the arc. Good, and Curry gets the assist. 55 seconds left to play here in the third. It's the Splash Brothers, Curry and Thompson at the guard spots. Barnes and Green are the forward set. And it's Spates in at the 5. That's the Warriors 5.
Assist goes to Jameer Nelson.
44 seconds left to play in the third. Curry against Nelson. Cuts off the pass. Barton in the corner, fires it up, and it's Klay Thompson with the rebound.
And honestly, not real happy with the shot selection on that one.
Yeah, clearly a brain fade there. He's got to be a little smarter in his choice making.
Now here's Curry. He's got 10. And now the fast break. Nelson with the ball, and that one's good. Gallinari's got 6.
No doubt that is within his range.
Well, I would hope so. He's a pro, and it was only a 1-footer. Come on now.
Thompson for 3. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Curry's got 4 assists in the game. Well, through 3. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. So for the Nuggets, their last game, a win against the Utah Jazz. And Denver will start the fourth quarter with. Filling out the wings, it's Foy and Gallinari. Wilson Chandler out there with Nurkic, and it's Moutier in at the one spot. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for two. And Yusuf Nurkic, really a big, good-looking young prospect. He's the guy that took Mozgov's place in Denver.
Yeah, originally, Kevin, drafted by the Bulls at number 16, then traded to Denver, as you indicated. His sheer size alone, 7 feet, 280. That makes him a force on the glass.
Joey Dorsey's checked in for Denver. Here is Livingston. In the corner, Iguodala with it. Expanding his range. Joey Dorsey with the rebound. The Nuggets trail by 16. Chandler, the pass to Nurkic. No good. Nice D from Bogut.
That's the kind of D you need when he's got the ball near the hoop. They were all over him.
Kevin, I didn't like that defensive effort at all, but they're lucky he missed it.
Yeah, you hope that's not indicative of the type of D they're going to play, because if they do, they're going to have struggles with him tonight.
And it's Thompson with the jam.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal, and then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
Here's Moutier, following the score by Golden State. Just 4 to shoot. And he gets it to go.
And that's exactly what they're going for on that shot.
Warriors leading by 16. Kicks to Barnes. He feeds it to Bogut. Off the pick. Nice spin off the left rim and in.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
And guys, nice to see Bogut out there given all the injuries that he's had to overcome in his career. Just glad to see him at full strength.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
During that break, Coach Mike Malone had some words for his team. He told the team he wanted their offense to run through Chandler. Coach is looking for big things from him throughout the rest of this game on the offensive end. A lot of the scoring burden will fall on him. With the minutes ticking down and the deficit still a big one, those adjustments have to be a chance worth taking, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you. You know, Bogut, as I recall, Clark was so distraught by those injuries that at one point he thought he might retire.
Yeah, he gave some serious thought to packing it in after the 2013 season, Kevin. Luckily for his team, though, he worked through it and is strong as ever at the defensive end.
The Nuggets trail by 16. The shot by Chandler, wide open. It's the three-point bomb.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
Livingston kicks to Ezeli. Golden State moving the ball around. Back to Bogut. He dishes it to Thompson. Screen by Bogut. On the wing, Thompson. Covered by Foy.
No breathing room at all to take that shot.
Nuggets have gone 3 of 4 on field goal attempts since getting things started here in the fourth. On the wing, Chandler. No luck. And it's the Warriors taking it the other way. Earlier in the game, they had a 19-point lead. Thompson outside. He kicks to Livingston. From deep, Iguodala. And yes, sir, that one drops. And the Warriors lead by 16.
Add another triple to their second half total.
They came out of the break just dropping bombs and just are not letting up at all.
Moutier dishes to Nurkic. Chandler with the ball. Nurkic trying to get open. Chandler's shot good. Chandler's got 9 points here in the second half.
You know, when I think of Wilson Chandler, what comes to mind is supreme athleticism. He can throw it down with the best of them, yet he's still working on the other areas of his game to be more well-rounded.
And the Warriors with some changes. Green comes in for Festus Ezeli, and it's Stephen Curry in for Sean Livingston. Kenneth Faried, he's checked in for Denver. Martin comes in for Randy Foy. Now Mudiay. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. Now perhaps one of the most intriguing draft picks of this past summer, Emmanuel Mudiay, can be a game-changing player. Was going to play, Clark, as you recall, at SNU for Larry Brown.
He sure was, and went overseas instead. So we don't know a ton about him other than his reputation is sterling. Now we'll see if he can live up to it.
Harrison Barnes, he's checked in for Andre Iguodala.
It's really been a tale of two halves, guys. A slow start, but this quarter, he has really been the man.
Barton picks to Mudiay. Screen by Nurkic. Chandler goes in, and it's sent back by Bogut. And Nurkic gets it to go. They can take their time on this possession.
You know, guys, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, it gives themselves a little break, too.
Catch the breath, you're right. Now here's Curry. Bogut sets a screen for Curry. Offline with his 3.
And how about Mudiay, guys? He has a very interesting upbringing. Born in the Congo, grew up in Texas, then spent last season in China. Already a very well-traveled young man for a player of his age.
And you know, with Mudiay, you can't ignore what he does on the court. He has amazing size at the point guard spot, excellent vision, and is a natural playmaker for his squad.
The Oracle Arena was rocking last season, and with good reason. The Warriors would finish a league best 39-2 at home last year.
Man, how about that 39-2 record put them one off of tying the best record ever in the NBA. That record, by the way, belongs to the Celtics with 40 wins back in 1986. And so just rolling to the finish line now in what has been a very confident-looking performance for the Warriors.
Tonight, they seem committed to the three-point shot.
That certainly was their main meal, their bread and butter, if you will.
And so with this win, they'll move to 6 victories on the season.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And, Greg, we know familiarity breeds contempt. I would expect things to become more heated as these teams face each other going forward.
Just a quality win, and you look at the box score and some really good numbers for Green. You look at the energy he brought on both ends of the floor, and it's easy to see why he was a difference maker.
Green with the block. Curry against Chandler. Now Curry. From deep three-point range, nails it.
Pretty looking shot. I mean, when you can hit it from that deep, wow.
I tell you what, Clark, you got to be feeling pretty good to put it up from out there.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, along with Draymond Green. He's not always known to make the big headlines or get a lot of media attention, but he does make the big plays, and he made them throughout this one. And that wraps things up.